The G318s is sent by EarAcoustic for reviews. However, as per usual, the review is 100% my thoughts and experience with the product. Thank you so much EarAcoustic and Intium Indonesia for the opportunity to review the G318s. The G318s comes in a surprisingly large box with a fancy minimalistic design. I do have some nitpicks regarding the packaging, but overall, it does exude exclusivity with the engraved metallic cards. The nitpick is if the lid itself has a sturdier design. The insides are tidily packaged with the IEMs on the right side and everything else inside the carrying case, which is inside the accessories box on the right side. Inside, you get two types of ear tips, one of which does have a unique design I haven't seen before in this price range, and the cables itself. I am quite unsure about the design as I find them having a little too much lettering on the IEMs themselves. I think going with a more simplistic design would match the sophisticated overall look. Besides, having a lot of lettering on a polished surface can be quite difficult to see. The G318s does come with a bunch of ear tips inside the carry case. I think it is a good thing they gave you a lot of options, as finding the perfect seal is crucial for the Genesis G318s. With most of the ear tips included, the G318s fit rather deep. The deep fit does affect the comfort in my ears. The GT18's larger footprint may not suit smaller ears and can be quite uncomfortable after a few hours of listening. While I do like the hand feel of the included cable, I feel like the cable can be a little bit too stiff and has a lot of microphonics. The G318s exhibit a rich velvety sound with nice imaging. Perhaps they deliver what they wanted to achieve with some digital twist, but it is not without some subjective flaws. Let's talk about it. It has a rather pronounced bass response with a bass accentuation and some mid-bass punch. Bass is also decently textured with good dynamics, while there is a decently extended mid-bass to create a sense of warmth to the presentation. This can be a double-edged sword, as the warmth and richness may come across as muddy notes for those who don't enjoy warm tone IEMs. Bass strings works quite well with the G318s, as I find polyphia tracks to be fun and well defined. The rich nature can be quite pleasant for those jazzy tracks or those who are looking for a thick-bodied vocals. Sub-bass rumble mostly complements the overall bass response. On grand tracks such as Lana Del Rey's Young and Beautiful and some other orchestral tracks. Moving on to the mid-range section, the GT18S does exhibit a decently clear mid-range with some accentuation on the upper end. While it is not necessarily the most noticeable listening note during my testing, I found the GT18S to have a very slight dry timbre on female vocals. Mid-range is generally thick, especially combined with earlier bass notes. The Genesis comes off warm with a hint of forwardness around the upper mid-range. For me, this kind of tuning suits best for those jazzy songs like Frank Sinatra, Vince Guaraldi Trio, and many others. It is not fully analog sounding. There is a slight scoop in the lower mid-range, which makes certain instrument or vocals occupying said frequency to sound a little less pronounced. This also helps create a sense of separation and contrast between the upper frequencies and the lower frequencies. As previously mentioned, the upper mid-range response of the Genesis can have a slight dry timbre on certain tracks. While it does help create some sense of presence to some higher-pitched vocals and instruments, the presentation might be slightly difficult to call as natural, but with the combination of its bass response, the slightly unnatural timbres are masked off most of the time. Speaking of upper frequencies, treble presentation is decently pronounced on brighter sources, giving some sense of presence in higher frequencies. This works quite well adding some sense of clarity and detail into the presentation. While it is a nice thing to have, the treble response can accentuate the different parts of cymbal hits, as on certain tracks, the initial hit of cymbals might not be as present as the decay, creating a lack of physicality to cymbals attack. Since the cadence isn't available for demo, the Tanchjim Origin is once again brought as comparison to the Genesis G318s. The comparison is done in a store with a store demo, so take this with a huge grain of salt. The song tested is Whiplash by aespa. The Origin seems to have a slightly leaner, sharper sounding to them. Vocals are well defined with some sparkle on the top end, while the G318s have a warmer, richer notes to them. Perhaps vocals can occasionally come across a bit metallic. I find, in terms of technicalities, the G318s to have a slightly better positioning and depth, while the Origin tends to have a wider presentation. The Portazo is actually very similar to the G318s. What is different is perhaps the treble presentation, as the Portazo does exhibit some sense of grittiness due to the slightly accentuated treble presentation. Mid-range presentation is slightly nicer with the Portazo because it loses the metallic notes of the G318s. And being a hybrid IEM, the Portazo is not shy to boost up the bass response without sacrificing the technical performance. Despite the Portazo having some advantage in the mid-range timbre and bass authority, I still prefer the overall presentation of G318s due to its smoother treble balance. The stereo imaging is well separated while the layering is expected of a single dynamic driver. However, what is actually nice with this set is the depth and the overall grand presentation. If I could nitpick, I would probably prefer listening to the next song in this album instead of this one with the G318s. Perhaps it is just my mood, or if it is just how the G318s sounds. I think this type of song are what I would spend my time listening to with the G318s. Lovis vocals sound intoxicating with a sense of immersive and grand stage. The Genesis G318s is a single dynamic driver IEM costing around $250 at the time of writing. Bass has a good amount of accentuation on the sub bass with some warmth towards the lower mid-range. The mid-range is generally thick-bodied and rich sounding with some presence on the upper mid-range. This presence can come off as double-edged sword, as you can occasionally find some dry or metallic female vocal presentation. Treble is present and adds clarity, though cymbals attack can sometimes feel softer than their decay, giving them slightly less physical impact. Overall, I find the G318s nicely tuned with a solid technical presentation for a single dynamic driver. Although layering and separation are still within expectation for this type of driver configuration. It is perhaps well suited for those jazz, orchestral, and instrument-focused tracks with the thick and immersive presentation of the G318s. However, those who prefer a more neutral tuning or leaner, cleaner presentation may find the warmth and occasionally dryness slightly less than ideal. As for the ratings, the G318s gets a B+ for tonality and an A- for technicalities. I am impressed with the change of tuning style from the previous STA and SPA lines, as I think this type of tuning would be a lot more timeless. That is pretty much it. Thank you both EarAcoustic and Intium for making this review happen. It is rather interesting that recently my collection consists of mostly single dynamic driver IEMs. What are your thoughts on dynamic driver IEMs? What is the best single dynamic driver IEMs you have ever tried in the $250 price range? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching and have a great day.